Hello everyone, Genki here, and today we're going to see if I can beat Pokemon Legends Arceus without learning new moves. Sorry for the video taking so long. First I had issues with the footage and then I caught a cold, and it's been a lot. I got the idea for this run thanks to my dry bread. Basically, the challenge is that when I catch a Pokemon, I can only use the moves it has upon capturing. If it has empty move slots, I cannot stop them from learning the moves. However, I'm not allowed to use those moves. Other than that, as usual, no items in battle. Only Pokeballs and items outside of combat are allowed. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. The game starts by having Arceus throw our character back in time, where we meet Professor Lamington. By helping the Professor, he helps us find a place to stay. However, we first need to prove it will be useful to Jubilife Village by joining the Galaxy Exhibition team. In order to join, we were tasked with catching a Bidoof, a Starly, and a Shinx. We started the run by picking Rowlet as our starter. Rowlet was the only starter that did not start with a normal move. We then got introduced to Volo, a traveling merchant, who offered to battle us. He only had a Togepi with Tackle, so we easily took it out with 3 hits of Gust. At the Obsidian Fieldlands, we made our way through the tutorial. Bidoof was the only useful catch of the 3, because it starts with Rollout, while Starly and Shinx only had Quick Attack. Back in Jubilife, we were made members of the Survey Corps, and we could finally have free reign over the first quarter of the Obsidian Fieldlands. To cross the bridge, we needed to have 1 star. To get stars, we needed to fill out the Pokedex, which was actually the mission of the Survey Corps. We fill out the Pokedex not by only catching and defeating Pokemon, but by doing other tasks, like seeing them use certain moves, feeding them food, and so on. While out exploring, I most notably caught a new Shinx. This one was level 5, so it knew Thundershock, and he pointed out that was thankfully a high enough level to know Ember. We also caught a bunch of Warples. They only knew Poison Sting, but I put one on the team to level it up. This area also had Weasels, but they only knew Quick Attack. Back at camp, I tried to turn in our research to discover I still needed to talk to Ray, who gets us with our crafting kit. This then allowed us to turn in our Pokedex and receive our first star. The next day, we immediately knocked into Ray, who requested a battle. However, first, I decided to go through our team and nickname them all with their best move, so I could tell which moves I'm allowed to use. Ray's only Pokemon was Pikachu. I started with Shinx. Ray's Pikachu was faster and went for Quick Attack, doing almost half of Shinx's health. Shinx's Quick Attack was doing about the same amount of damage, but because of the speed difference, Shinx was down first. We then finished up Pikachu with Point Off. Following the battle, we were introduced to the Move Tutor, who were not allowed to use this run. Ray then asked us to join him for a meeting with a woman named Mai. Back in the Obsidian Fieldlands, I first slept until nightfall, because this brought out Drifloons, who know Confusion. I used Drifloon to replace Weasel. It was only level 2, so I decided to do some training, but then I found a higher level Drifloon with Hypnosis. I decided to go with that one instead. When we finally met up with Ray and Mai, we were told Mai is a warden for the Diamond Clan, and she requested a battle with us. Mai uses a Munchlax. I led with Drifloon, who missed Hypnosis, as Munchlax's rollout did half of Drifloon's health. Drifloon then landed his second Hypnosis, but went down to a second rollout. There is no sleep in this game. Instead, we get drowsy, which causes the Pokemon to occasionally not attack. Our damage is also increased apparently. I sent out Rowlet, who got in 2 Gust, taking Munchlax to half before going down. I then sent out Bidoof, and went for our own rollout. We then finally got a Drowsy proc, but it didn't matter as 2 rollouts took out Munchlax. Following the battle, we were asked to help take care of an alpha Pokemon messing around Deertrack Heights, the home to one of the Diamond Clan's lords. The Diamond Clan believe in a god named Sinnoh, and Sinnoh blessed a handful of Pokemon to protect the land. Mai is the overseer to one of those Pokemon. To reach Deertrack Heights, we needed to trek up a hill with Kricketots and Geodudes, just to find at the top an Alpha Kricketune. I started with Point Off, but Kricketune went first, doing over half of the area lakes. Ember then did less than half, so Point Off went down. I sent out Drifloon, who got off of Hypnosis. Kricketune's Aerial did less than half. We went for a strong style Confusion, which took Kricketune to a quarter, but then we got a Drowsy proc. A normal Confusion then didn't take out Kricketune, but we got a second Drowsy proc, giving us the win. This earned us the trust of Weirder, the Lord of Geotrack Heights, allowing us to set up a base camp there. Back in the village, we met Adamon and Irida, leaders of the Diamond and Pearl clans. Apparently some of the lords have gone into a frenzy, and we were tasked with investigating one of the lords, Cleaver, the Pearl clan's lord for the Obsidian Fieldlands. Starting from the Heights camp, we made our way to the Grand Tree Arena. Along the way, we caught Starabia, our first Pokemon with a full moveset. I named her Hawkeye. No, not that one. That one. I decided to replace Rowlet. To reach the arena, we needed to pass a beach with an Alpha Barrel, which caught sight of us. It immediately took a Hawkeye with Icy Wind. I then sent out our now evolved Luxio, who got Barrel to red health with 2 Thunder Shocks before going down. This allowed us to catch Barrel on our first Pokeball. I decided to replace our current Barrel with the Alpha Barrel, which we named Alpha Row. Once past the beach, we caught ourselves a Psyduck, before entering Grand Tree Arena. There we met Leon, Cleaver's warden, who wanted to battle us, before he would tell us anything. Leon uses a Goomy. It was a 2 KO from Hawkeye, though it did get scary when Gloomy got off 2 bubbles in a row, but we got the win. Leon now revealed to us that Cleaver would normally calm down when given an offering of its favorite food. We shared this info with Professor Lamington, who suggested that we throw the food at Cleaver. Upon returning back to the Obsidian Fieldlands, we learned how to use Weirder as a ride Pokemon. It was quick, but I didn't use it that much. At the arena, we got forced into a battle with Irida. She uses a Glaceon. Alpharel decided to miss a rollout, allowing Glaceon to take Alpharel to under half with a combo of Quick Attack and Swift. Alpharel's next rollout then took Glaceon to just above half, as one more Swift from Glaceon took out Alpharel. I then sent out Ponyta, whose Ember took Glaceon to red health. Glaceon Swift until only took Ponyta to half, giving us the win. Time for our battle with Cleaver. Since the run is focused on the Pokemon, I'm going to put emphasis on the battles. For round 1, I led with Psyduck. However, she only got in 1 Water Pulse before going down to 2 Air Slashes. I finished off Cleaver with Alpharel. For round 2, Cleaver went for double hit, allowing its Air Slashes to take Alpharel to a third, but it went down to 2 Water Pulses. For round 3, I sent out Luxio. We went for a combo of Agile and Strong Style Thunder Shocks, but Luxio was really just out so I could send an Alpharel danger free to take out Cleaver. Round 4, we went with Ponyta. She was a one-shot. We then sent out Alpharel, but he did not have enough health to live another hit. However, we did leave Cleaver with enough health to have Hawkeye come out and finish it off. With that, we could finally take out Cleaver. The next day, we're introduced to Rezu of the Diamond Clan. In Commander Kamala's office, she explained that Ursaluna, a lord for the Pearl Clan, has been acting up. However, before leaving the village, we need to battle Ray. Alpharel one-shot Mime Jr. Pikachu though hit Alpharel with a combo of Quick Attack and Thunder Wave. Alpharel sadly got fully paralyzed, going down to another Quick Attack and Thunder Shock. I sent out Ponyta, whose Ember got in a first turn burn. Pikachu's Thunder Shock only took Ponyta to above half, so a strong style Ember finished off Pikachu. We cannot enter the Crimson Mirelands. We caught up at our Psyduck with a full moveset, before entering Silesian Ruins. Inside the ruins was Kalaba, Ursaluna's warden, who refused our help. We then knocked into Volo, who requested a battle. Alpharel and Togepi went back and forth with Icy Wind and Drainy Kiss, because for some reason, I refused to use Strong Style. However, when we switched to Water Pulse, we got in 2 hits in a row, taking out Togepi. Alpharel then went down to Gibble. I sent out Drifloon, who after a Hypnosis, took out Gibble with 2 Confusions. Following the battle, Volo explained that a slab was stolen by some thieves, and he saw what might have been their camp. The thieves were a group of women named Miss Fortune. We had to battle Coin. She uses a Toxicroak. It went first, and did big damage to Hawkeye with Venoshock, but was a one-shot with Strong Style Air Lace. By returning the slab, we get Kalaba's cooperation in helping us with Ursaluna. First was some exploring though. Most notably, we caught a Roltz and a Hippopotamus. We met Kalaba at a big empty piece of land, where she called Ursaluna. Alpharel decided to miss his first Icy Wind, as Ursaluna slashed it over half. Alpharel's next Icy Wind then did a third before he went down. I sent out Misty, our new Psyduck. Water Pulse took Ursaluna to red health, but Misty was a one-shot. Ursaluna then went down to Hawkeye. With Ursaluna now calmed down, we found that Ursaluna was not in a frenzy. He did have some strange powder on him though. Back in Jubilife,
we discovered Arceus had gone missing, and the Diamond Clan's Lord for the Crimson Mirelands, Lilligant, has gone into a frenzy. Through the power of playing this game before, I found Arceus, who explained that Ursulina went nuts by coming in contact with Lilligant. Arceus was trying to make bombs to help calm Lilligant, but damaged her leg. It was now up to us to help Lilligant. The route to Lilligant's arena required passing a swamp filled with Stunkies and Skuntanks, before then reaching the Diamond Clan settlement. From there, we passed a large open field, which led to Bravo Arena. Time to battle Lilligant. For round 1, I used Ponyta. Lilligant went first, and used Stun Spore, which fully paralyzed Ponyta. Lilligant did the big damage with Rock Smash before we could finally get off an Ember, taking Lilligant to a sliver and burning her. Lilligant then went for Energy Ball, taking Ponyta to red health before going down to burn damage. Round 2. Lilligant this time went for Poison Powder, as Ember took the yellow health. Ponyta then went down to Poison. We finished off Lilligant with Hawkeye. For round 3, Lilligant went for Poison Powder on Hawkeye, but was a one-shot with Aerial Ace. Round 4. Lilligant this time went for Stun Spore, but was still a one-shot. With Lilligant back to normal, Kamado led us to Prelude Beach, where we were told the origin story of Jubilife Village and the Galaxy Expedition Team. Kamado told us to enjoy ourselves before our next mission, so I got a haircut and a new outfit. I decided to go Naruto and wear all orange. In Kamado's office, we found Arita. Our next mission takes us to Cobalt Coastlands. At this location, the Pearl Clan have no lord, and Arita is having trouble getting the warden to train a new one. Firespit Island, the volcanic island the Lord used to call home, has been the base for thieves, stealing Galaxy Team supplies. Our mission was to investigate the island. Oh, and by the way, every time I got a stat boosting item like Grit Dust, I used it on the team, but I just couldn't find a good way to integrate it into the story. I decided to make a quick detour back to the Obsidian Fieldlands. We were not far enough in the game we could get quests off Professor Lamington's blackboard. Most importantly, the quest for a guaranteed shiny Ponyta. This one was level 15, with a full moveset. I named her Secretariat. Upon reaching the coastlands, we find Arita again. This time, she requested a battle. It was 2v1. I led with Secretariat, who was half the level of Arita's Glaceon. Flamewheel did almost half the Glaceon, but then Ponyta got comboed by Quick Attack and Ice Beam. I sent out a now fully evolved Luxray, who could only use Quick Attack and Thundershock. Thundershock only did a quarter, as Glaceon's Ice Beam and then Eevee's strong style Quick Attack took out Luxray. I sent out Diantha, or Krylia, but she was a one-shot. I then sent out Hawkeye, who finished off Glaceon and one-shot Eevee. Following the battle, Arita asked us to talk to Paulina, the Pearl Clan's warden for the area. By heading north, we made our way down the beach, and then up the cliffside. At the end of the cliff, we found Paulina and 2 Growliths. When we told her of our mission, she told us we need the help of Basculegion. Basculegion's warden is on the other side of the coastlands. Upon reaching Warden Iskon's hut, he told us to get Basculegion's favor, we needed to make his favorite snack. However, the issue is that we need to infuse it with the Dark Pulse of a Dusclops. Iskon did tell us we could find one at Deadwood Haunt. However, upon reaching the area, it was already morning. Thankfully, I had done the side quest to set up the second base camp for the coastlands. When we found the Dusclops, it decided to be a pain in the butt. We had to battle it. Hawkeye was now a Staraptor, and she got Dusclops to a quarter. Dusclops could heal with least life, but if we hit it with another attack, it could take it out. We went for Gust, but then Hawkeye went down the Dark Pulse. Dusclops then became enraged, and one-shot Teratot, or Hippopotas, Misty, and Diantha. Luxray lived the hit, so I ran from the fight and decided to attack Dusclops with spoiled apricorns. This way, we could backstrike the Pokemon to get an easier catch. It still took us 2 tries with this method. We can now return to Iskon and make the ball of Basculegion food. Iskon then asked us to meet him at Ginkgo Landing. I did some more Pokedex research first, and discovered that we somehow obtained a Reaper Cloth, so we used it to evolve Dusclops into Dusknoir. I named Dusknoir after the VTuber Cabal, everyone's favorite level 2 Eldritch Cult leader. We then made our way to Ginkgo Landing, where Paulina decided to show up, as well as Misfortune. Using their leader's Gengar, they kidnapped one of Paulina's Growliths, the one who was not related to the late Lord. Using Basculegion's assistance, we made our way to Firespit Island, where we found Misfortune in the middle of the Lord's arena, trying to get the Growlithe to evolve. When we approached the trio, they decided to battle us. First was against Clover, who used the Bomb Snow. I actually forgot about this battle, so I had Tear in the front for Arcanine. She was a one-shot. Not to worry, as Secretariat got in 2 hits in a row, taking out Bomb Snow without taking damage. Next is Coin. We sent out Cap. Toxicroak got capped to half health with 2 Mud Bombs, but 2 Shadow Balls took out Toxicroak. Last is Charm. Her Rhydon survived Cap's Shadow Ball, and took him out with her strong style Bulldoze. Misty then finished off Rhydon. However, then Charm's Gengar came out, and one-shot Misty with the combo of Gnosis and Hex. I sent out Diantha, who one-shot Gengar with Confusion. Following this battle, Polina and her other Growlithe showed up. This caused the Growlithe to evolve, but at the same time, a space time rift to open up and make Growlithe frenzied. Time for a third noble battle. I hate this battle. I tried to treat it like the others and focus on the battles, but here's the thing. Round 1. I sent out Misty, who takes big damage from Rock Slide, but is able to one-shot Arcanine. For round 2, by sacrificing Misty, I can send in Teratot, who can one-shot Arcanine with a strong style Mud Bomb. This brings Arcanine to half health, and in phase 2. Arcanine now puts flames in the middle of the arena, so we cannot escape. It then does its Flame Pillar attack, which we cannot stop because the flames do not go away until almost the end. If we survive the attack, the middle of the arena will still be coated in flames, leading to our death. I tried this for over an hour. I could just not get the throw right to dispel Arcanine's phase 2 Flame Pillar, so I decided to play the battle like normal, attacking Arcanine with bombs whenever I saw an opening. This way, we only need to suffer through 1 Flame Pillar before finally taking out Arcanine. With now 3 Nobles calmed down, we were of course requested to take on the 4th. This time Electrode up on Mount Cornet. The issue is that Electrode's warden, Melly, is a pretentious idiot who sees the frenzy as Electrode being chosen for greatness by Sinnoh. To try and convince Melly, Edamon requested a battle with us. Just like Rita, it was 2v1, but this time with Leafeon instead of Glaceon. I start with Secretariat. Leafeon survived the strong style Flame Wheel, and retaliated with a strong style Quick Attack, doing almost half the Secretariat. Even they went for its own Quick Attack, causing Secretariat to go down to Leafeon's Leaf Blade. Hawkeye then finished off Leafeon and launched at Eevee. Wow, deja vu. This battle did not impress Melly, but thankfully we don't need him to traverse Mount Cornet. For that, we need the help of Sneasler, a lord for the Pearl Clan. Sneasler's warden is Ingo, who also came to Hisui via the Space-Time Rift. Arita feels that we could help awaken some of Ingo's memories if we travel with him. At the Cornet Islands, Ingo didn't travel with us much. There was a cave he led us through, because Melly hid all the torches, but other than that, he kinda just let us wander. We were forced to mount on Melly at one point. He uses a Skunk Tank. I sent out Teratot, who was now more of a hash brown. Skunk Tank was faster and got off a flamethrower, which was not that bad, but then Teratot missed a Mud Bomb, and her second did one shot, so she went down to 3 flamethrowers. We finished off Skunk Tank with Cabal. Following this battle was a battle with Ingo. This was how we tested our worthiness to use Sneasler. I led with Hawkeye, who one-shot Ingo's Machoke. Tankalus survived Aerial Ace and took Hawkeye to a throw with Ancient Power, and went down the next turn. Last is Gliscor, who took out Hawkeye with a double Quick Attack. I sent out Diantha, but after seeing how much a strong style Confusion did, I realized Gliscor was not a poison type. Diantha went down to a double Quick Attack and a Poison Jab. I finished off Gliscor with Misty. We can now use Sneasler to traverse up to the summit, where we have another battle with Melly. This time, it's 3v1. Thankfully, Teratot landed her first Mud Bomb, so she was able to take out Skunk Tank. Melly's Zubat and Scrubby were not that strong, so Teratot was able to go for rest. This did make her drowsy, but we took out Zubat in 1 attack, and Scrubby in 2. Time to battle Electrode. Round 1. We sent out our now fully evolved Secretariat. Electrode's Thunder almost took her out, but a strong style Flame Wheel one-shot Electrode. For round 2, I sacrificed Secretariat and sent out Teratot. I forgot Electrode takes neutral damage from ground, so Mud Bomb only did half, as Electrode's Energy Ball one-shot Teratot. I then sent out Cap, who took out Electrode with each life. For round 3, Electrode decided to go for Thunder Wave, but was a one-shot by Cap's strong style Leech Life. Round 4, Electrode missed its Thunder, as Cap's normal Leech Life took out Electrode in 1 hit. With that, we have beaten Electrode. However, we didn't have 5 stars yet for the next mission. So I went around catching more Pokemon, including an Alpha Bronzor. I quickly evolved him, and then decided to swap out Misty. One Frenzy Noble left, this one being Avalugg in the Alabaster Icelands. However, first, I battled with Ray. Ray leads with Mr. Mime. It used Iron Defense to raise its defenses, which did protect it from being a one-shot by Cap's Shadow Ball. But then Mr. Mime missed its Hypnosis, so it went down the next turn. Next is Staravia, who took Cap to a third with Brave Bird, but went down to 1 Dark Pulse. Ray's last Pokemon was Pikachu, who quickly took out Cap. It went down to a single Mud Bomb from Teratot though. At the Icelands, we were told to meet with Garrick, Everlugg's warden, who happened to be at a place called Everlugg's Legacy. Everlugg's Legacy is a big chunk of ice in the middle of the field. There, we were forced into a battle with Garrick. It's 2v1. Alero's Secretariat. Flame Wheel almost took out Glalie. Glalie went for Ice Shard, which didn't do that much damage, and then Crunch, which did quite a bit of damage. Frostless decided not to attack, so we took out Glalie with 1 more Flame Wheel. Frostless then took out Secretariat with Hex. I sent out Cap, who survived to crit Hex, and one-shot Frostless with Shadow Ball. With the battle over, we were told we needed to gather Eternal Ice, which could only be found at the top of Avelugg's Legacy. We could not climb Avelugg's Legacy, so we'll need to fly and get it. This meant getting the assistance of Breviary, the Diamond Clan's lord for the Icelands. To do this, we needed to play hide and seek with Breviary's warden, Sabby. Sabby is a strange girl who claims to be clairvoyant. When we found her, she told us to go to Snow Point Temple. I made sure to set up the base camp first, before heading there. Progressing through the temple required remembering the order of the Reggie statues. It's kind of interesting that the Hisui people know of the 3 Reggies, but only Regigigas is in the game. At the top of the temple, we found Sabby, who asked us to battle her. This battle was scary looking at first. I decided to use Teratot, since she was strong against all 3 of Sabby's Pokemon. For the first round, only Rhyperior attacked, doing a throw with high horsepower. I had her go for an agile style Mud Bomb, doing over half of Rhyperior's health. Electivire and Magmortar again refused to attack, so we took out Rhyperior. Electivire for some reason tried to use Thunder Punch. Magmortar went for Poison Gas, but then we one-shot it. Electivire again tried to use Thunder Punch, as we one-shot it as well. Outside the temple, we now had to battle Braviary. Hisui Braviary is part Psychic, so I used Cap. Braviary went for Roost at full health. Cap's Shadow Ball then took Braviary to a sliver, as Braviary went for Brave Bird. The attack took Cap to a third, but more importantly, the recoil took out Braviary. We could now use Braviary to fly. To the top of Avelugg's Legacy, where we could collect the Eternal Ice. We also met Garrick up there. What a strange man. We gave him the ice, and he told us to head to the arena. Time to battle Avalugg. This battle took me a second try. Not because dodging Avalugg was hard, but because we ran out of Pokemon. For round 1, I sent out a Machoke I recently caught. His close combat took Avalugg to a third, but then he got one-shot by an Agile Style Mountain Gale. I then brought out Secretariat, because I forgot if Avalugg was part ground or part rock. It's part rock. Strong Style Ember took Avalugg to a sliver and burned it. But then Avalugg's Earth Power one-shot Secretariat. The burn damage ended round 1. For round 2, I sent out Diantha, who missed Hypnosis twice. Avalugg's Mountain Gale took Diantha to red health, but then it missed its second one. Diantha managed to land her third Hypnosis, which immediately got a Drowsy proc. Diantha then got in 2 attacks in a row, taking out Avalugg with a normal and a strong style Draining Kiss. For round 3, Diantha landed her first Hypnosis, and Avalugg missed its Mountain Gale. We went for the same strat as before, and while Avalugg landed its second Mountain Gale, Diantha lived and finished off Avalugg. For round 4, Diantha landed her Hypnosis, but then Avalugg decided it was tired of our shit, and KO'd Diantha with a strong style Mountain Gale. I sent out Teratot, since I discovered Avalugg was weak to ground, and had lower special defense. This allowed Teratot to one-shot Avalugg with a strong style Mud Bomb. We had now returned all the lords to normal. However, it's not over yet, as the next day, the sky got covered in hexagons. With us coming out of the space time rift, we were Kamado's first suspect, leading to him banning us from the village. However, we soon knocked into Volo, who decided to help us. He led us to a lone hamlet, where we met Kogita. Kogita seemed to be like a type of seer. She knew a lot of the island's mythologies and prophecies. She told us that we needed the help of the Lake Trio, Mesprit, Uxie, and his elf. Admiral and Rita also showed up to the hamlet. Choosing which leader to accompany us determined which boss we were facing at the end. I chose Adamon, which I kinda regretted, as our team was better suited to battle Dialga than Palkia. At the Three Lakes, we had to battle an alpha Pokemon, before they're doing some kind of task for the Lake Trio. Mesprit just asked us how we felt about our current situation. Uxie tested on how many eyes certain Pokemon had, and Azelf tested our persistence by trying to get us to hit it with bombs. The 3 items we got created a red chain. Back in Jubilife, we discovered that Kamado had gone to Mount Cornet, because a Pokemon had been seen on the other side of the space-time rift. At the top of the mountain, close to Electrode's arena, there was a cave. This cave was previously being guarded by a security corps member. However, he was no longer there. Inside, we found the Wallflower restaurant owner, Benny. He was apparently a ninja, and Kamado's right-hand man. He lived with Miss Magius, so I went with Cab. Miss Magius landed her first turn hypnosis, as Cab went for Shadow Ball, taking Miss Magius to a sliver and lowering its defenses. Benny used a max potion, but Shadow Ball was not a one-shot. This sent out Gardevoir. It went for Calm Mind. Cab then got hit with a Drowsy proc, leading to him getting one-shot by Psychic. I sent out Iron Man, or Alpha Bronzong. Flash Cannon did almost half. Gardevoir went for an agile style Dazzling Gleam, and then a normal Dazzling Gleam, but Iron Man survived and finished off Gardevoir. Sneasler was next, and it took out Iron Man with close combat. I sent out Terratot, who one-shot Sneasler with Mud Bomb. Last was Glade. I tried to keep using Terratot, but Mud Bomb was only doing a quarter, while Glade was using Drain Punch to heal itself. When Terratot went down, I switched to Hawkeye, who took out Glade with Aerial Ace. We couldn't make our way to the top of the mountain and face Kamado. I forgot what Pokemon Kamado led with, so I sent out Diantha against Braviary. She missed her hypnosis, as Braviary went for a quick attack air slash combo, taking out Diantha. I sent out Terratot. Bite did almost half, as Braviary's air slash did almost half. We then took out Braviary with a strong style bite. Next is Snorlax. It went straight for Giga Impact, but Terratot survived at 1 HP. I had her go for rest, as Snorlax used high horsepower. Terratot then got a Drowsy proc from the rest, leading to her going down. I sent out Cap. Leech Life got a crit, doing a quarter. Rock Pulse then took Snorlax to half. Snorlax went for a double high horsepower combo, taking Cap to 20 HP. Leech Life brought Cap back to a third. However, Kamado then used a Super Potion. We used this time to get Cap back to full health, but then 2 fully powered high horsepowers took out Cap for full health. I sent out Hawkeye, who got in 2 aerial aces taking out Snorlax. This caused Kamado to send out Golem. It went for Stealth Rocks, doing over half of Hawkeye's health. Hawkeye could do nothing to Golem, so I switched her for Iron Man. Golem again went for Stealth Rocks, as Flash Cannon took it to a sliver. Golem then went for Double Edge, causing it to go down to recoil damage. Last is Clefable. It went straight for Calm Mind. Flash Cannon still took it to almost half, and brought his defense back to normal. Clefable's Psychic took Iron Man to under a quarter, but one more Flash Cannon won us the battle. We could not earn the Temple Sinnoh, where we encountered an enraged Dialga. Using the Red Chain, we were able to calm down Dialga and battle it. I led the battle with Secretariat, whose Flame Wheel did less than expected. It did get the burn though. Secretariat then got one shot by Earth Power. I sent out Terratot, who immediately got one shot by Roll of Time. I then sent out Cap, who got a crit with Leech Life, taking Dialga to half health. We then caught Dialga on our first try. This caused Palkia to emerge, and with a destroyed Red Chain, we had to retreat. Using information from the plates that we had received from the different lords, and Leon, we were able to figure out the material the Red Chain was made of could be found in Mount Cornet. However, as we approached the ore, we were stopped by misfortune. This time we only needed the Battle Charm. Rhydon used Stealth Rocks, as Terratot did big damage with Mud Bomb. Rhydon then took Terratot to under half with high horsepower before going down. Terratot then went down to Gengar. However, Gengar was a one-shot by Cap Shadow Ball. We cannot mine the ore, which had been dubbed Origin Ore, and have Ray forge it into a Pokeball. Time to face Palkia. However, we're not just facing Palkia, we're facing Origin 4 Palkia. This fight pissed me off more than Arcanine. Palkia always started with his teleportation attack, which was a 50-50 if I dodged it or not. It then would rain down meteors, and do a ring attack like Logan, which at first was fun. To battle Palkia, you need to get rid of its orbs, like Arcanine. Against Palkia, I relied on Dialga. Palkia could do big damage or power, but Roar Time one-shots Palkia. Here's the issue. That orb attack, which I assume is Spatial Rend, is completely random. We could run around for like 3 minutes straight, and Palkia would not use it. That's not even the worst of it. When Palkia reaches half, it gains the ability to do instant meteor attacks. We got this one run where Palkia used it 3 times in a row. After that, I was done. I decided to take out Palkia like normal. And with that, we beat Pokemon Legends Arceus without teaching my Pokemon new moves. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time for another Pokemon solo run.